Boyd's Coffee Company is not just any run-of-the-mill coffee business, but a family operation that has been going on for 4 generations. Starting back in the 1900s, the founder, Percival Dewey Boyd, started peddling his wares from a red horse-drawn wagon. The business quickly grew, and by 1910, the horse-drawn wagons were replaced with trucks. With newer technology, the company quickly grew to the point where Boyd's became the first U.S. coffee distributor to loan coffee brewing equipment to restaurants and different food services industries. Boyd's Coffee Company doesn't just pave the way for quality coffee, but has been manufacturing espresso machines and educating customers about espresso drinks long before Starbucks or Stumptown ever arrived. If you're looking for more insight about the coffee process or tours around the facility, be sure to check out their website at boyds.com.
Welcome back. The general session is just letting out here at the Sigma conference in San Francisco, and I grabbed one of the keynote speakers, Lynn Westfall, Senior Vice President and Chief Economist of Tesoro in San Antonio. Now, Lynn, some of the things you talked about had to do with the recession and gasoline supply and demand. What are your thoughts on the recession, and when will we see this pass?
Well, it looks like we'll officially declare ourselves to have been in a recession since probably the third quarter. Typically, a recession lasts in the order of 11 months on average, as long as 16 months. From the look of things, I would say you're not going to see any relief probably starting until the end of the second quarter, which means we probably will not get out of a recession until late third quarter, fourth quarter next year.
And what's this done to gasoline demand?
Gasoline demand right now is down about 3%. Now, some of that is simply the effect of unemployment. Obviously, people who don't have jobs don't drive, regardless of what the price is. That's about a third of the demand drop. The rest of it has been primarily people who've changed their driving patterns because of the high gasoline prices we had for most of this year so far. But that's coming back. With the prices going down, we're now from a 3% decline. The last data was down about a 1% decline from last year. So people are being reactive to prices, just as they reacted when they went up. They're now reacting as they went down and starting to go back to some of their old driving patterns.
But some of that will be permanent, correct?
Oh, absolutely. The people that bought new cars, for instance, that gets higher gas mileage, they're not going to go back and trade that back in for their SUV that gets lower gas mileage. That's pretty small right now because, as you know, they're not selling a whole lot of new cars. That's only about 3% of the demand decline. But over time, that certainly will be a bigger and bigger factor every year. And as you said, that is a permanent reduction in gasoline demand.
What has this meant for Tesoro? How was year 2008?
2008, the first half was very poor, not just for Tesoro, but for refineries in general. The third quarter was much better, but obviously when the demand for our primary product goes down 3%, like it did for gasoline, just like in any business, our profitability goes down. Now we expect that to return along with gasoline demand when it does come back from the recession. But I think the next couple quarters, maybe the next half a year, is still going to be very tough for the refining business.
Right. Well, and you said that there will be some challenges going forward for refining with some changes to some of the refineries that are out there. What can we expect?
Well, you can expect for the next couple of years that there's going to be an oversupply not only of crude oil but of gasoline. And so when that happens, and this is on a global basis, the weakest players will fall out. And there are still a lot of inefficient refineries in the world, particularly in Europe and in Russia, that probably are not going to be able to find themselves being able to compete on a global scale. So I expect to see some, as I said, some refinery closures in the next couple of years. That'll bring it all back into balance, say, in the next 3, maybe 4 years.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Lynn. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Pat.
And thank you. We'll come back next with a look at the 50th anniversary gala here in San Francisco. We'll be right back.
Boyd's Coffee Company is not just any run-of-the-mill coffee business, but a family operation that has been going on for 4 generations. Starting back in the 1900s, the founder, Percival Dewey Boyd, started peddling his wares from a red horse-drawn wagon. The business quickly grew, and by 1910, the horse-drawn wagons were replaced with trucks. With newer technology, the company quickly grew to the point where Boyd's became the first U.S. coffee distributor to loan coffee brewing equipment to restaurants and different food services industries. Boyd's Coffee Company doesn't just pave the way for quality coffee, but has been manufacturing espresso machines and educating customers about espresso drinks long before Starbucks or Stumptown ever arrived. If you're looking for more insight about the coffee process or tours around the facility, be sure to check out their website at boyds.com.